In the tunnel.
In the tunnel.
In the tunnel. You're listening to In the Tunnel.
I mean, like, even though we have that, like, this series, like, if you compare what happened in the Houston and Yankees series to what's happening now, you wouldn't expect Houston to ever give up 12 runs.
You wouldn't, but Verlander is also, like, historically in the postseason, one of the worst ERA pitchers.
Yeah, but even, like, when he pitched against the Yankees, that's not what happened.
Yeah, well, the Yankees kind of fluked it this postseason.
Yeah, but, like, you would expect the Yankees to get, like, some hits. Like, of course, they don't have pitching, but their lineup is solid. Batting lineup is pretty solid.
Yeah, it also helps that they have a miniature baseball stadium that they play in.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a feature, man.
Apparently so. Not enough space in New York City. Who would have thought?
Yeah, but I mean, for the Nationals, as far as the Nationals go, like, they have a really good shot at closing it out at home. It would be sad if the World Series was a 4-0, but
it wouldn't be in the sense of it's the Nationals who haven't really amounted to anything in the time that they've been around.
True, but as far as
that they got past the DS series.
Yeah, but, like, as far as, like, somebody who doesn't have an interest in either of these teams, no non-interested fan wants to see a 4-0.
True. Is Jason Worth still playing?
Not sure.
Oh. Sean, I come to you asking for help.
Hey, I have watched the games, okay?
Wait, I think I have an answer. Considering right now Kurt Suzuki is up and he's wearing number 28, which is what Jason Worth wore, I'm guessing he's no longer playing for the Nationals at least.
Nah, okay, that would make sense.
Unless it's college and everybody gets to wear the same number twice.
No.
Damn it.
Yeah.
And how much money did you put on the game?
0.
Not confident in the sweep, huh?
Nah. I mean, a sweep is just so... it's possible, but you'd have to expect both teams, if they've gotten to this point, to be able to take a game.
True. It's just, to me, both these teams, it all comes down to pitching. It doesn't come down to offense, and in order to take a game, you do need the offense.
Okay, but I still think Houston has the pitchers to win a game.
Correct. Do they have all the batters to win a game, though? I mean, yes, they have all-stars in all areas, but are they doing enough right now?
No, but they have the pitchers to even in this at this series pitch a 1 or 2 run game, so their batters are set up.
Okay.
But is it going to happen? That's another story. And
I like stories.
Is 1 or 2 runs given up too much, which is probably not the case, but we'll see.
Stories are fun, though.
Okay, go read some stories.
Good story. Why don't you tell me a story?
I don't have any to tell you.
That's not true. You take the train home every day. There's got to be stories on the train.
Not really.
Have you ever been in a doctor's office? They literally have racks of magazines full of stories.
True.
When's the last time you saw a doctor, Sean?
Months ago.
It's not good. You should probably see one.
Yes.
Anyway, now that we've publicized and completely violated all that HIPAA stands for,
Let's move
not that
on.
not like one of us is in a healthcare profession or anything. Whoops.
All right.
Bad time to be up for other jobs, huh?
Yeah.
Well, good thing I am. Shit.
All right.
Anyway,
So let's get straight into the NFL.
sure. Why not?
So take it over because this is your stat.
Yeah. If you were drafted in the draft class of Mariota and Winston, or Winston and Mariota, those first two picks were big time wastes. Mariota only throws 44 interceptions so far in his career, but he doesn't throw the ball as much because he plays in the Titans organization. And when's the last time you ever knew the Titans for throwing the ball? I mean, you can go back to the Chris Johnson days. They didn't throw the ball back then. So, it's only been like 12 years that, their game plan has been not to throw. But at the same time, Winston's thrown almost 25 more touchdowns in comparison to Mariota. But with those comes 24 additional interceptions. So, it is what it is. But the funny thing is, Winston has only accumulated about like 200 yards passing more than Mariota so far.
I think it's 3,000.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the 183 to 399. Sorry, that's like a season's difference. My apologies.
Yeah,
Sean,
but still.
Sean, I'm gonna need you to edit that out, maybe. 63 completion percentage for Mariota is low, but 61.4% for Winston is even lower. And both these guys have a less than 90 pass rating. So, not great.
Yeah.
Not great, and they're getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, from these stats, like, that's a pretty high interception to touchdown ratio for any QB.
Not great.
Both of those numbers.
Not great.
Otherwise,
so
like,
is it Mariota's what, 2.5 to 1?
yes, they're both around that because Winston is that's like 5 to 4 almost, right?
Yeah, preferably you're looking at like 4 to 1.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd even take 2 to like you'd even take double the TDs than interceptions at this point.
Yeah, well, they could all have Duck Hodges, but no more.
Yeah,
Duck Hodges, the legend.
And I mean, I don't think their passer rating is particularly terrible, but it's not great.
Well, that's because they get benched before it could get worse.
Yeah, like a 90 passer rating, you would think is pretty acceptable.
I'm not big on thinking, Sean.
We know.
That's why I created a slide all about Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston, because thinking, not always my thing. I thought it was a good idea. Thinking, not a good idea.
All right, so you want to move on to the standings? Let's just see the AFC.
Yes. Sure, Sean. Let's do it.
So, the Pats, no surprise, 7-0.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'd say that the Browns and Steelers both being 2-4 is kind of surprising.
I mean, Sean, they're all the same division leaders that made the playoffs last year.
Yes. That's why I'm not really talking about the rest of the teams. I'm just saying, like, The Browns have been surprising, even though they're only 2-4.
I mean, what do you mean they've been surprising? Who sat here and told you it was going to take at least a year for it all to mesh?
But the point is, I still think they've been playing decently. Just
No, they have not. They would not be talking about potentially benching their
Oh,
quarterback
right.
if they were playing decently.
Right. Okay. Otherwise,
They
like,
would not be making incompetent play calls in the fourth quarter if they were playing decently, because they wouldn't have to make those play calls.
anything surprise you about the AFC then?
Bills.
Bills 5-1.
And the Raiders not being stupid yet. I mean, trust me, it's coming, but it's not there yet.
Give them what? Another week? I think it is.
They only played one game in a week, Sean. How about like 3 weeks?
Nah, dude. The start of literally after the start of November, it just starts going downhill. So they have one more game.
Nah, I'm gonna give it 3 weeks because I'm counting a fluke win in there somewhere.
Oh,
I'm counting on a 1-2,
okay.
and that's where it starts.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So NFC. What do we got to say about this one, aside from us coloring the Redskins yellow?
I mean, it's their secondary color.
Yes, I know.
So what's your problem with yellow?
Nothing.
I thought it would be less insulting than putting red in there with the name Redskins.
Yes, I was alluding to that.
Oh, okay. Well,
All
thank you for your service.
right. Anything like, I don't know.
It kind of pisses me off that the Panthers are 4-2 with their backup quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
I want Cam Newton back in the games and throwing off of his back foot and missing receivers by like 6 yards. I
so
want
everything
that
to go back
so
to normal.
badly.
That's what you want.
Sure, not like I was watching Panthers games anyway, but just for these fuckheads around here to stop talking.
All right.
Leave that.
I don't know. I'm kind of surprised, like, the 49ers are 6-0 with the Rams and Seahawks kind of fighting for that second spot.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a good defense.
Yeah,
Finally.
but I don't know. I wouldn't have expected them to still be undefeated.
They played the Redskins last week, Sean.
Yes, I know. But I'm talking about, like, full season because we haven't talked, like, full NFL standings in a little bit.
I agree. They should not have beaten the Steelers, and the fact that they won with a minute left just speaks to, how vulnerable they were for most of that game.
Yeah.
Fluke win, if you ask me.
Otherwise, like, everything else is shaping up. The East is still a crap show. And that's really about it.
Has the East ever not been a crap show?
Still a crap show, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, still, as in, it continues to be year after year after year.
The East has been a crap show since before Michael Strahan retired.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I mean that was the whole reason why the Giants winning both those Super Bowls against the Patriots were such big things. Is like, oh, that's weird. The Giants. This is like a crap. They came out of that crap show NFC East.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Sorry
all right.
to just end on a spot where you clearly thought that there's more coming.
No. All right. So let's get into the continuation of our Pro Football Hall of Fame segment.
We're gonna knight the Queen. Wait, that's something else.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I saw the gold and all the royal color gold, and I thought formalities.
Okay. So, if you need a recap, 122 is how it started. We're down to 25 currently. And the ending will be 8 or 10. We'll see.
8 to 10. I think we're shooting for 10.
All right. So let's do a recap just so we know who's still in the pool.
10, but 8 with good behavior.
All right, you want to take it over?
Yeah, so these are the guys who were last round were on the list but did not make the cut. We spun the wheel decided who was going to be and who was not. And these are the players who did not make the cut. We have Larry Centers, Gary Anderson, Terry McDaniel, Ryan Longwell, Lance Briggs, Dallas Clark, Sean Alexander, Mike Allstott, Sean Landetta, Nick Collins, Henry Ellard, Zach Thomas, Eric Allen, Bob Sanders, Brian Waters, Ben Coates. Then we have Jordan Gross, Greg Townsend, Jimmy Smith, Gary Clark, London Fletcher, Isaac Bruce, Derek Mason, Nick Lowry, and Herschel Walker. In other words, 25 of the 50.
Yep. So, if we have 25 names still on, so we're gonna go down to 15 this week. So we're gonna just get those 15, and the next episode we will decide our 8 to 10.
Yep.
So
let's take a look at the candidates, Sean.
Yep.
Well, you go first.
Yeah. So we have David Akers, Lincoln Kennedy, Donald Driver, Steve Hutchinson, Chester McLaughlin, Richard Seymour, Albert Lewis, Clinton Portis, Brent Jones, Jeff Garcia, Clay Matthews. Was it Clay Matthews Jr., right? Not the one that's currently playing.
Yeah, because it's the third, I think, he's playing now.
Yeah. Wilbur Marshall, Jeff Saturday, James Ferrier, Tony Baselli, Tiki Barber, Musin Muhammad, Josh Cribbs, Torrey Holt, Rondé Barber, and Leslie O'Neill, Jeff Feagles, Bryant Young, Neil Smith, and Lomas Brown.
I'm amazed you got Ferrier right. That was like the hardest last name in the list, and you somehow got it right. I
can surprise you sometimes.
Not
very often, but sometimes.
You could surprise me. You don't. I could learn how to do this OBS thing that you do all the time too. I don't, but I could.
All right, so let's just do a small little some stats, right? So the teams with the most potential Hall of Famers, we got number one being the 49ers, and tied for second are those four teams: the Chiefs, Giants, Raiders, and Browns.
Yep.
And then
Browns, always at the top of everybody's list.
And then players with the best chance.
This was based on our computations from last week, but now, it still stands for this week, and they are Richard Seymour, number one. And then tied at 2 is Lomas Brown and Torrey Holt. Don't judge me, and we are going to keep that in for sure. And then tied at 3 is Steve Hutchinson, Josh Cribbs, and Neil Smith.
Right, so let's get straight to spinning the wheel.
I'm going to lean into that Richard Seaman thing for the rest of the time.
All right. So, we ready?
Sure, Sean. It's not like I've been waiting for this all effing day.
All right. So, first person to make it into our round of 15.
Jeff Feagles.
See, I was going to say, like, Lincoln Kennedy.
I got to write this down.
Yeah. So, first person is actually Clay Matthews.
Again. Just what we need. More Clay Matthews people. All right. Clay Matthews again. That piece of shit hair that they all have.
All right. Next one.
I never get mad, but.
Albert Lewis.
Albert, Prince Albert on the can.
And Jeff Saturday.
Jeff Saturday on a Friday. Hold the onions. You could go for a cheesesteak. What about you, Sean? Want to go to Deli Works after this?
Unfortunately, you can't make it all the way up here. Richard
Ship it
Seymour.
down here. All right, Richard Seaman.
All right. His new
This is
name
what
on the
we live
show.
for, Sean. No, just don't tell him.
Josh Cribbs.
All right, and the kick returner goes one step further.
Oh boy.
Hey.
Jeff Garcia.
All right.
Chester McLaughlin. All right. Steve Hutchinson. Tiki Barber. What number was that?
That was 9.
9?
We're
All
on
right.
number 10 now.
Yep. Torrey Holt gets number 10.
Yep. This wheel is rigged. It's realistically rigged.
Yes.
And Rondé Barber.
Rondé Barber, the Barber brothers.
As much as you try to separate them.
Yeah. Leslie O'Neill.
All right, number 13.
Brent Jones.
All right, running out of space here, number 14.
Lomas Brown.
And number 15.
Lincoln Kennedy.
All right, there you go. So we have Clay Matthews, Albert Lewis, Jeff Saturday, Richard, Josh Cribbs, Jeff Garcia, Chester McLaughlin, Tiki Barber, Steve Hutchinson, Torrey Holt, Rondé Barber, Leslie O'Neill, Brent Jones, Lomas Brown, and Lincoln Kennedy.
Yep. So
Next week, we decide who are the inductees.
right. So tune in next week to see that. And for now, we are going to talk about some NHL. So
All right, Sean.
you want to start it off with fantasy? How's our team doing?
No, why don't you start it off with real world?
Okay. So Arizona's been, I think they've been fairly surprising in how well they've been playing consistently. They're currently playing the Devils, but they've actually had, I think, before yesterday's Islanders game, they had a 5-0-1 record, so they're 5-1-1 right now in a game. Ottawa's been just as bad as everybody thought they'd be.
Of course.
The Rangers haven't really been that good either, but I think people agree that they need some time to mesh. The Islanders have been playing fairly decently. A little surprising. They got off to a pretty good start. I know
Yeah.
the Penguins have been riddled by a lot of injuries already.
Yeah, but we still have 12 points.
Yeah, no, you guys are doing great. John Carlson for the Capitals has been lighting it up, and they've been doing really well. The Wild
We
have
all
been, huh?
go ahead.
The
We
Wild
also
have been surprising in
Mhm.
how bad they've been playing.
We got rid of Good Branson's contract today too.
Yeah.
Traded with the Duckies.
Uh-huh. And Marlowe signed with the Sharks, right? And I don't know, they're still really old. Like, I don't think it changes much.
Yeah. It's like when you hear the saying, "In the rich get richer," it's in the old get older.
Yep.
It's like, why would you really do that?
Yeah. And
It's a nostalgic move. It's
yeah,
not something that provides any true purpose at this point.
not really. Only other surprising thing was the Oilers had like a 3-game skid where McDavid had 0 points, and that was the first like 3-game pointless streak since 2017 December 28th, I think, to the January 1st or something like that. So that was it's a little surprising to see McDavid that cold, as he is literally the bread and butter of the team.
Yeah, that's why you have David Pastrnak as the lead NHL goal scorer so far this year, though.
Yeah, but I mean, Neil took the first week and a half by a huge storm with the amount of
Pastrnak had 7 goals last week.
yeah.
But we'll touch on that in a second.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, people, like, players have gotten to really weird early streaks. Like, Neil had the first week and a half where he had like 7 goals and like 11 points or something. Pasternak this past week has had 7 goals. Even Matthews started the season off with like 6 goals or like 6 points, whatever, some dumb number in like 2 or 3 games.
Indeed.
So yeah, anything else you want to say about some teams?
No.
All right, so yeah, as you guys know,
by the way, James Neal still does have 9 goals on the year.
yeah.
So he has added another 5 goals in the past week.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, as you guys can see, and you guys know, we're in a fantasy league. We have that extra highlights of that draft on YouTube and other platforms, right?
Sure.
Right now, we are in the middle of week 3. But after 2 weeks, we're 10-8-2 because of the way fantasy hockey scoring works.
Correct. I told you, Sean. I asked you. I sent a text last week. I said, "How do we stay more dominant in all categories?" You didn't answer that text, and now we somehow went from 4th place after 1 week to 6th place after 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so.
but this week looks like we'll do pretty dang well.
Sean, we were up 8-1 last week in the last day, and we finished 5-4.
5-4-1, correct.
I don't give a crap that we're up 9-0 right now.
Are we up 9-0? It was 8-1 last time I checked.
No, 9-0.
9-1.
Well, it is now, but when I checked before game started today, 9-0.
Okay.
See, already slipping.
No, I think we make up some ground.
What are we going to do about this one?
I think we make up some ground this week.
How do we make up ground? We're already ahead.
We don't start any goalies for the rest of the week.
But then we don't pick up goaltending stats, and then
we don't need
categories.
Goaltending stats with a 970 save percentage and a 100 goals against, especially when
you need qualifiers, though.
Yeah, but we already have 3 goaltending starts.
This is stupid. I don't like when you lie to me.
I do think that like our
I'm shifting out of screen for a second.
I think we need a hitter because we really slack in that category. That's the category
Pick up Tanev. That's
the category we constantly lose at. Otherwise, otherwise the other offensive categories are regularly ours. So it's really just if we can find a better goaltender for either Lundqvist or Rene, and somebody who can hit without sacrificing too much of the other stats.
Tanev.
Maybe.
I mean, he's like number 2 or something in hits in the NHL.
Yeah. All right. So let's go through week 1.
Yeah, I have recaps for both weeks, Sean.
Yep.
Because I'm not a quitter unlike you.
Yeah. So as you can see, I mentioned this earlier. Matthews had 6 goals in the first week. Hamilton also.
That?
Huh?
What?
Hamilton also had a +7 rating, which is surprising for I mean, I don't really like plus minus as a stat, but hey, we're winning in it, so it's great.
We dominated it so far.
Yeah. So it's great.
We got glue guys as most of our roster.
Yeah. And then Carlson, as I was saying, has been lighting it up this entire season so far, even though it's only been 2.5, 3 weeks. But yeah, 8 assists first week. And the first week was 3 extra days, wasn't it?
No, it was 5 extra days.
Oh, it was 2.
Remember, we drafted on a Monday.
Right. But I thought the season started on Thursday. Unless I'm just missing.
Right. I mean, it measures it by week.
Yeah.
So it was an extra, 6 days.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and as you can see, we dominated in goals, did pretty well in assists, dominated in plus minus, barely scraped out the power play points, a lot more shots on goal, got killed in hits, which is what I was talking about, right? We were both alluding to that fact.
Well, yeah, you got to do better with that, Sean.
And then lost in wins as goaltender. We
really need to get a goalie.
We won in goals against average.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did, according to your...
Sorry, I'm looking at save percentage.
No, goals against average. And then we lost in save percentage by probably a fraction of a percent.
No, it was based on they had, I think, more starts.
Oh, okay.
There is some tiebreaker to it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So final score was 5-4 with 1 tie, right? Or was it just 5-4? Yeah, 5-4 with 1 tie in shootouts.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it, Chief.
Okay. So on to week 2. We again this time it was only a 7-day week instead of whatever it was before. So we were 10 goals ahead, about 13 assists ahead. We dominated in plus minus yet again. Dominated in power play points. Dominated in shots on goal. Barely lost in hits, which is one thing because we were winning in hits until the last game. The guy got 1 hit or 2 hits, which was just enough to beat us.
Didn't he have Tom Wilson though?
Yeah.
Well, we should have known better than.
Yeah. We lost in wins. We lost in goals against average, and we tied in save percentage, but lost in shutouts.
How do we tie in save percentage twice?
Well, no, the last time we lost in save percentage.
Yeah, but with the same percentage.
Oh. I don't know.
We literally tied twice in a stat that goes 3 decimal places.
Hey, but why did the other guys win save percentage? I'm assuming that the
starts.
No, but this guy had more starts too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll be damned.
Yeah. And then we had a 5-4-1 this time, and our top performers, as we were talking about, Dave Pasternak as I was talking about, John Carlson. And surprisingly, Skinner had a lot of shots and a +3 rating, which contributed quite a bit.
I mean, there hasn't been a week where our goaltenders make this list, so I kind of run out of stat categories to showcase in a top 3, in a 3 stars of the week kind of fashion.
Yeah, but hey, it could change this week.
Nope, it won't.
Really?
I don't know, Sean. Is Lundqvist any good anymore?
I mean, he played pretty well yesterday.
Congrats. I'm
Like,
sure he's going to play forever.
really well yesterday. And then Rene got
Cool.
a shutout yesterday.
All right, it's about time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why we're 10-8-2. Hopefully next week we have a recap of a week that's better.
Just remember, Sean, the winged wheel we played week 1 and beat week 1 is above us in the standings. And we're 2-0 in our matchups.
Yeah.
And we're below them. So
Yeah.
don't screw this up, huh? Big hockey guy over here, eh?
Yeah.
All right. I do it out of love.
Yeah. All right.
Folks, it's the only way to get him to change his behaviors is to be critical. We could all learn a lot from these kinds of behaviors and how to change them.
Of course.
But the society we live in just doesn't yield those kinds of changes anymore. And I'm going to sit here and say, Sean, get your head out of your ass, because most people won't say that anymore.
All right. Hey, but on the bright side this week, the guy we're playing,
There's a bright side.
the guy we're playing this week had Marc-Andre Fleury starting, and he got pulled in today's game. So today's goals against average was 7.7.
Okay.
That has to be good somehow for us.
Sure. There's always got to be a fucking bright spot in your pansy politically correct world.
Hey, you gotta look at the bright side of life. Can't always be a downer.
Do you? Oh, you do you? I'll be a little bit of a realist one time.
All right. On that note, anything you want to say to end it off?
Yeah, how do you not have any stories to tell when you take the train home?
I mean, I take the train to work too.
That's not. Oh, you're ducking out right now. You still aren't answering the question.
But like, seriously, it's just like, hey, there's a drunk guy on the train. Like, wait, okay, that's like normal. How's that a story?
Well, guess you're not making it much of one. It's a shame. All right, well.
Okay, maybe next week I'll try and make much of a story. We'll see.
Yeah, you definitely strike me as a creative type.
We can all be the judge of that. Hopefully next time.
Yeah, it doesn't take a judge to figure that one out. All right. Well, until then.
Thanks for tuning in.
And have a great weekend.